Welcome to our deep dive on custom trade show booths.
Sounds fun.
We're using the custom trade show display booths design, exhibiting strategies and trends encyclopedia
Okay.
to help you really make your booth stand out at your next trade show.
Awesome.
You ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's get started.
I've always thought of trade show booths as kind of like mini stages, each company trying to steal the show.
Right.
But this article really highlights how much more strategic it all is now.
It's true.
Yeah.
The days of just slapping up a logo and hoping for the best are long gone.
Right.
It's not just about being flashy anymore. It's about understanding your goals, your audience, and how the design of your booth can work to achieve those goals.
So it's like designing a marketing campaign, but in 3D.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just like any good campaign, it starts with a solid foundation.
Okay.
That means understanding the balance of form and function.
Right.
A booth might look amazing, but if it doesn't function well for staff and attendees, it's missing the mark.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The article mentions 4 key elements of effective design, right?
Yes.
Consistent branding, clear messaging, open layouts, and multimedia elements. I feel like those are pretty standard, though.
Sure.
What's the insider tip here? What makes these elements really sing?
It's all about using those elements strategically.
Yep.
For example, consistent branding isn't just about splashing your logo everywhere.
Got it.
It's about using color palettes, typography, and even textures to create a cohesive and memorable brand experience.
So it's like creating a little world that embodies your brand.
Exactly.
And clear messaging.
Right.
Well, that's about understanding what really grabs your target audience's attention in a crowded trade show environment.
Yeah, forget the corporate jargon.
Okay.
What one impactful statement sums up the value you offer?
So it's about that elevator pitch mentality.
Yes.
Making every word count.
Yeah.
What about the layout?
Okay.
Everyone says open concept, but what makes it so crucial?
Think of it from the attendee's perspective.
Okay.
Would you rather navigate a cramped, maze-like booth or step into a welcoming open space that invites exploration?
I know I'd be more likely to linger in a space that feels inviting and easy to navigate.
Right.
But what about multimedia?
Oh, okay.
It seems like every booth has screens and interactive displays these days.
Yeah.
How do you stand out?
The key is to be purposeful.
Okay.
Don't just add technology for the sake of it. Ask yourself how multimedia can enhance the attendee experience and help achieve your goals.
Okay.
Could a touchscreen kiosk showcase your product portfolio in a way that's more engaging than a static brochure?
Okay.
Could a well-placed video demonstration highlight a key feature better than words ever could?
Right.
It's about using multimedia to tell your story in a compelling and memorable way.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
Now let's talk about budgets.
Oh.
Let's be honest. Building a custom booth can get pretty expensive.
It can.
What about startups or small businesses with limited resources?
Right.
Does this all just go out the window?
Not at all.
Okay.
A smaller budget doesn't mean you have to sacrifice impact.
Got it.
Actually, their article suggests focusing on one impressive feature that packs a punch without breaking the bank.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So instead of spreading your budget thin, you go all in on one showstopper.
Exactly.
What kind of feature are we talking?
It could be anything that aligns with your brand and goals.
Okay.
Imagine a stunning, custom-designed, printed backdrop that serves as the centerpiece of your booth.
Okay.
It's cost-effective, visually impactful,
Right.
and it can be easily transported and reused.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's like creating a work of art that also serves as a marketing tool.
Right.
Plus, you could get creative with the materials to really make it stand out.
Absolutely.
What about renting a booth?
Yeah.
Is that a viable option?
Absolutely. Renting can be a smart choice for businesses with limited budgets, especially if you're only attending a few shows per year. It eliminates the upfront costs of ownership.
Right.
And offers flexibility in terms of size and configuration.
And you can still add your own branding and design elements to make it your own right.
Exactly. Yeah. You can incorporate custom graphics, lighting, and even some well-chosen furniture pieces to create a branded experience that feels unique and welcoming.
Okay, so we've covered some budget-friendly options.
Yes.
Now, what about established companies that are looking to really showcase their legacy and build trust with attendees?
Right.
How do they approach booth design differently?
They can leverage their heritage in really creative ways. One approach is the brand museum concept, where you create a dedicated space within your booth that showcases the evolution of your company.
Oh, like a mini museum that tells your brand story through key milestones and innovations.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a powerful way to demonstrate your expertise. Build credibility and foster an emotional connection with attendees. You're not just selling a product.
Yeah.
You're showcasing your journey and inviting attendees to be part of your story.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Especially for companies with a rich history.
Yeah.
What about using premium materials?
Sure.
I imagine that plays a role in conveying a sense of longevity and reliability.
Absolutely.
Okay.
High-quality materials like wood, metal, or even stone can speak volumes about your brand's values and commitment to excellence.
Okay.
It's about creating a sense of permanence and sophistication that reinforces your position as an industry leader.
It's interesting how subtle details like that can have such a big impact on perception.
Yes.
What about creating an immersive environment?
Right.
I've heard that's becoming increasingly popular.
It is,
Yeah.
by incorporating sensory elements like scent, sound, and even tactile displays.
Okay.
You can create a truly memorable experience that engages attendees on a deeper level. Imagine walking into a booth that not only looks amazing,
Yeah.
but also has a subtle signature scent that evokes a specific feeling or memory.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like creating a whole world within your booth.
Exactly.
What other techniques can established companies use to make their booth stand out?
Think about creating a product portfolio gallery.
Okay.
This is where you curate a visually stunning display of your best products or services,
Right.
highlighting their features and benefits in a way that's both informative and aesthetically pleasing.
So it's like an art exhibit, but for your products.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it allows attendees to really get a sense of the breadth and depth of your offering.
Exactly.
And finally, consider offering exclusive experiences within your booth.
Yes.
Maybe it's a VIP lounge area where you can host private meetings,
Right.
or a guided tour that highlights your latest innovation.
Exactly.
These are great ideas.
Yeah.
It's all about adding a touch of exclusivity and making attendees feel valued,
Exactly.
right?
By incorporating these strategies, established companies can leverage their heritage and create booths that are not only visually impressive, but also reinforce trust and credibility with attendees.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our deep dive on custom trade show booths.
We've talked about the big picture goals, branding, and budget.
Right.
Now let's get into the elements that really bring a booth to life.
Okay.
Materials, lighting, and technology.
I'm excited to dig into this.
Yeah.
It's those details that can really make a booth stand out and create a memorable experience.
Absolutely. And they all work together to support your overall design concept.
Speaking of design, the article mentioned how sustainable materials are becoming increasingly popular.
Yeah, it's not just a trend.
Okay.
It's a reflection of a larger shift in consumer values.
Right.
People are looking for companies that are environmentally responsible.
And using materials like bamboo, reclaimed wood, or even recycled fabrics can really make a statement.
It shows you're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. Yeah.
Plus, these materials often have unique textures and visual appeal that add character to a booth.
I once saw a booth made almost entirely of recycled cardboard.
Oh, wow.
It was incredible. Intricate, lightweight, and totally recyclable after the show.
That's a great example of thinking outside the box and using sustainable materials in a creative way.
What about lighting?
Okay.
I feel like that often gets overlooked.
Right.
But it can have such a huge impact on the mood and atmosphere of a booth.
Lighting is crucial.
Yeah.
It's like stage lighting for your brand.
Okay.
You can use it to highlight key products, create focal points, and even guide attendees through the space.
I've been in booths where the lighting was so harsh it felt like an interrogation room.
Oh, no.
Not exactly inviting.
That's why it's important to consider both the type of lighting and the placement.
Okay.
Warm, inviting lighting can make people feel more comfortable and encourage them to linger.
And using spotlights or accent lighting can really draw attention to those hero products or displays. Exactly. The article also mentioned LED lighting as a must-have.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
They're energy efficient, long-lasting, and don't generate as much heat.
And with LED, you have so many options for color and intensity.
Oh, wow.
You can create practically any mood or ambiance you want.
Okay, let's talk about the fun stuff technology.
Right.
It seems like every trade show booth is incorporating some kind of tech these days.
It's true, technology can really elevate the attendee experience and help you achieve your goals in a more interactive and engaging way.
The article touched on VR and AR,
Yeah.
which can create truly immersive experiences.
But there are also simpler, more accessible options like interactive touchscreens.
Okay.
Attendees can browse your product catalog, watch videos, or even play games.
It's a great way to provide self-guided exploration and free up your staff for more in-depth conversations.
And then there's gesture control technology, which is always a crowd pleaser. People love the novelty of interacting with displays using hand movements.
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie. What about projection mapping?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen some incredible examples of that at trade shows.
Projection mapping is a fantastic way to transform any surface into a dynamic canvas.
Right.
You can project images, videos, or even interactive animations onto walls, floors, or even 3D objects.
It's like magic.
Yeah.
I once saw a booth where they projected moving images onto a giant sculpture of their product. It's mesmerizing.
And it's not just about visual spectacle.
Okay.
Projection mapping can be used to tell stories, explain complex concepts, or showcase product features in a truly unique way.
What about the data capture side of technology?
Okay.
I know lead retrieval is a big focus for most companies at trade shows.
Absolutely gone are the days of collecting business cards in a fishbowl.
Right.
Badge scanners and lead retrieval apps allow you to capture attendee information quickly and efficiently.
And some systems even integrate with your CRM.
Right.
So you can easily follow up with leads after the show.
Yeah. There are also systems that can track attendee behavior within your booth.
Oh, wow.
So you can see where people are spending the most time.
Okay.
Which displays are getting the most interaction, and even what kind of content they're engaging with.
This data is incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
It helps you understand what's working, what's not, and how you can refine your strategy for future shows.
Okay, so we've covered materials,
Right.
lighting, and technology.
Right.
Now let's zoom out and talk about overall design concepts.
Okay.
What are some popular approaches?
One approach is creating a thematic environment that transports attendees to a different place or time.
Like that tropical island booth you mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
Or maybe a booth designed to look like a futuristic cityscape?
It's about creating an immersive experience that aligns with your brand and your product.
Right.
And you can use materials, lighting, and technology to really bring that theme to life.
Another popular approach is the open concept design. Open concept booths are all about creating a welcoming and accessible space that encourages exploration and interaction.
Right.
They typically have no walls or barriers, allowing attendees to easily flow in and out.
It's great for showcasing a wide range of products or creating a more social atmosphere.
On the other end of the spectrum,
Okay.
you have the minimalist approach.
Minimalist booths were all about clean lines, simple color palettes,
Right.
and a few carefully chosen statement pieces.
They convey a sense of sophistication and elegance without being overwhelming.
I find that minimalist booths often use negative space really effectively.
Yeah.
It's like a breath of fresh air in a crowded trade show hall.
Exactly. The key is to choose a design concept that aligns with your brand, your goals, and the overall message you want to convey.
But regardless of the design concept, the article really emphasized the importance of creativity.
It's about thinking outside the box and finding ways to make your booth truly unique and memorable, and that often means pushing the boundaries of what's considered traditional booth design.
What are some examples of unusual or unexpected design elements that you've seen work well?
I once saw a booth that incorporated a mini escape room experience.
Oh, cool.
Attendees had to solve puzzles related to the company's products to escape the room.
That's brilliant. It's interactive, memorable, and subtly educational.
Exactly. It generated a ton of buzz and got people talking about their products.
I've also seen booths that incorporate live art installations,
Cool.
musical performances, or even cooking demonstrations.
It's all about creating a multi-sensory experience that draws people in and leaves a lasting impression.
It doesn't always have to be elaborate or expensive.
Right.
Sometimes the simplest ideas are the most effective.
Like the article mentioned, you could repurpose everyday objects in creative ways. Maybe you turn old suitcases into display cases or use vintage ladders as shelving. It's about thinking outside the box and finding unique ways to showcase your brand and your products.
What about you? What stands out to you when you walk into a trade show booth?
For me, it's all about that first impression. Does the booth draw me in? Does it feel inviting?
Yeah.
Does it spark my curiosity?
Those are all important questions.
Yeah.
You want attendees to feel compelled to learn more.
And once I'm inside, it's about the experience.
Yeah.
Is it interactive? Is it informative?
Right.
Is it memorable?
It's about those booths that make you think, wow, I need to learn more about this company.
Exactly. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into custom trade show booth design.
Yeah.
We've talked about the big picture and all the exciting possibilities.
Right.
But now let's get real about the challenges.
It's true. There's a lot that goes into creating a successful booth.
Right.
Even with the best planning, you're bound to run into some bumps along the way.
Exactly. So let's dive into some of the common challenges and how to overcome them. Okay.
I think staying within budget is probably at the top of the list for most companies.
Yeah, it's easy to get swept up in all the possibilities and end up overspending.
Right.
That's why a solid plan is so crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Before you even start brainstorming design ideas, you need a realistic budget that outlines your must-haves versus your nice-to-haves.
Okay.
Remember, you can always get creative with cost-effective solutions.
So true. It's all about making strategic choices.
Right.
For example, maybe you invest in a high-impact element, like that show-stopping backdrop we talked about, but then opt for more budget-friendly materials and finishes for the rest of the booth.
Exactly. Prioritize what aligns with your goals.
Right.
If lead generation is your top priority, maybe you allocate more budget towards a sophisticated lead retrieval system or interactive technology that encourages engagement.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well,
what about standing out in a sea of booths? That feels like a major challenge, especially at larger trade shows where you're competing for attention with hundreds of other companies.
Yeah, you need to find a way to cut through the noise and create that wow factor. It could be a unique architectural element, a captivating interactive display, a live demonstration that draws a crowd.
Okay.
Anything that makes people stop and say, what's going on over there?
I remember going to a trade show a few years ago.
Yeah.
And there was this booth that had an actual tree house built right into their design.
Oh, wow.
It was such an unexpected and playful element that it completely drew me in.
That's a great example of using a surprising element to create intrigue.
Right.
And it doesn't always have to be something extravagant or expensive.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about a clever use of materials or lighting or a well-placed interactive element that sparks curiosity.
What about the logistical challenges?
Okay.
Shipping, setup, takedown.
Right.
It all sounds a bit overwhelming, especially for companies that are new to trade shows.
It can be.
Any advice on how to manage all of that?
The key is to partner with experienced professionals who can handle those details for you.
Okay.
Look for a shipping company with a proven track record and clear communication protocols, so you know your booth will arrive safely and on time.
And when it comes to setup and takedown,
right,
is it worth investing in professional installation and dismantling services?
Absolutely, especially if you have a complex booth design or a tight schedule.
Okay.
Experienced installation teams can ensure that everything is assembled correctly, looks polished, and meets all the show regulations.
Right.
Plus, it frees up your time and energy to focus on engaging with the attendees.
Okay, great advice. Now let's talk about staffing, which can really make or break the trade show experience.
It's true.
How do you choose the right people to represent your company at the booth?
It's about more than just product knowledge.
Okay.
Your booth staff are essentially brand ambassadors, so they need to be enthusiastic, approachable, and genuinely passionate about your company and what you offer.
So strong communication skills and the ability to build rapport are essential.
Exactly. They should be comfortable engaging with attendees, answering questions, and even handling objections in a professional and friendly manner.
Right.
Don't underestimate the power of good listening skills either. Your staff should be able to understand the needs of potential customers and tailor their conversations accordingly.
What about training?
Okay.
Is it worth investing in pre-show training for your booth staff?
Absolutely. Thorough training can make a huge difference in their confidence and effectiveness.
Okay.
Make sure they're well-versed in your products or services.
Right.
Key messaging points.
Yeah.
And lead capture process.
Got it.
You might even consider role-playing exercises to help them practice different scenarios and feel more prepared for those interactions.
All right. We've talked about budgets.
Yes.
Standing out, logistics, and staffing.
Right.
Now let's circle back to measuring the success of your booth. How can companies determine if all of this effort is actually paying off?
It goes back to setting clear goals and tracking your progress against those goals.
Right.
Are you aiming to generate a certain number of qualified leads, increase brand awareness, launch a new product, whatever your objective is?
Right.
Make sure you have a way to measure it.
So if lead generation is the goal, you track the number of qualified leads captured during the show.
Exactly. And you'd go beyond just the numbers.
Okay.
Analyze the quality of those leads.
Right.
Are they a good fit for your business?
Yeah.
Are they likely to convert into paying customers? That deeper level of analysis can provide valuable insights for future events.
What about measuring brand awareness?
Sure.
That feels a bit more difficult to quantify.
You can look at metrics like social media engagement,
Okay.
website traffic, and even media mentions.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see a spike in activity or interest after the show?
Yeah.
Those can be indicators of increased brand visibility.
And sometimes it's about those anecdotal stories or qualitative feedback.
Exactly. Maybe you hear from your sales team that a lead they met at the show turned into a major client.
Right.
Or maybe you overhear attendees talking excitedly about your booth or sharing photos on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Those qualitative insights can be just as valuable as the hard data.
So what's the key takeaway for our listeners who are thinking about creating a custom trade show booth?
I think the biggest takeaway is that it's an investment worth making.
Okay.
But only if you approach it strategically. It's about more than just having a visually appealing booth. It's about understanding your goals, your audience, and how the design of your booth can help you achieve those goals.
Right.
It's about creating an experience that engages, informs, and inspires.
And it's about choosing the right partners to help you bring that vision to life.
Exactly. Find a booth builder and exhibit services team you trust.
Okay.
Invest in training for your staff. And don't be afraid to get creative and think outside the box.
Excellent advice. Any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
Yes, actually, we've been deep diving into the physical booth itself.
Right.
But remember that the trade show experience extends beyond those walls.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how you can create a cohesive brand experience that starts before the show even begins.
Right.
And continues long after it's over.
That's a great point. It's about maximizing those touch points.
Exactly.
Pre-show marketing, social media engagement, post-show follow-up.
Right.
To create a lasting impression that goes beyond the trade show floor.
Exactly. So go forth, fellow trade show enthusiasts.
Okay.
And create booths that not only stand out, but truly connect with your target audience.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into custom trade show booth design.
It was fun.
We hope you found this exploration insightful and that you feel equipped to tackle your next trade show challenge with confidence and creativity. Thanks for joining us.